So in a study conducted by Harris Paul, he said that 92% of people who seriously wanted to start a business didn't follow through, with fear cited as the major reason. Fear can take many forms. It's not just the fear of failure that holds many people back, but you also have fear of judgment, fear of rejection, uncertainty, self-doubt, and fear of the unknown can all play a role in actually stopping us from reaching our goals. Sometimes even fear isn't a conscious feeling, but rather it manifests itself in other forms such as analysis paralysis, self-doubt, or procrastination. Hey guys, my name's Tasha. I make videos on mindset, goal setting, and personal development. So if you are into these topics as well, then hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Fear was holding me back when I wanted to start my YouTube channel. It took me 3 years to face my fears and finally upload my first video. And I kid you not, my first video was so cringe. So in this video, I will be sharing the steps I took in order to address fear, which hopefully will also help you face your fear, whether it's starting a new business, maybe uploading your first video, building your presence in social media, or even asking for that salary raise. So the first step is find your big why. This is not new information, but I cannot stress how important it is in order to push you outside of your comfort zone. In his book Start With Why, Simon Sinek says, "If your vision is clear, the obstacles are just opportunities to test your commitment." In other words, if your why or your reason is bigger than your fear, then this will propel you into taking action and help you embrace that cringe or doubt that comes along the way. So I initially struggled with finding my why, hence my inaction for the past 3 years. Previously, I always thought that financial freedom was my main goal, hence it was that North Star that I should actually chase. But as I dug deeper into my reasons of wanting to start maybe a YouTube channel, I found out that financial freedom wasn't really my main motivator, but rather location freedom. I had this innate desire or this want to be able to fly back to the Philippines whenever I wanted. And that want to actually spend more time with my mom, who is sadly getting older, was kind of that thing that gave me this sense of urgency and gave me this last push to record my first video and kind of like be consistent right after that. So if you're also not sure if your why is that thing that really propels you to take action, or if it's just, something that you do because everyone says you do, I would challenge you to break down your reasons and ask yourself, why is this important to me? So for example, if you want to say, I want to leave my 9 to 5, you can then ask your question, why is it important for me to leave my 9 to 5? And then maybe you answer, because I want to travel more. Then you ask yourself again the question, why is it important for me to travel more? And you keep on doing this until you come to a point wherein you can no longer break down your answers. If you can't get it in one go, don't worry. It took me a period of several months, probably even a year, to find my ultimate why. So don't judge yourself too hard if you can't get it in one go. The second is to take responsibility. Take responsibility for your thoughts, your actions, and your energy. In the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways by Susan Jeffers, she talks about taking responsibility means never blaming anyone else for anything you are being, doing, having, or feeling. So I love this quote because it pushes us to take ownership of our lives and not let external factors hold us back. So when we have this belief that we are responsible for our progress and our failures, we in turn gain back that sense of control in our lives, which then fuels our motivation and our drive to take action. On the other hand, if we start blaming external factors such as maybe bad colleagues, bad group of friends, like a crappy weather, it basically just gives us this feeling of helplessness and a sense of reactiveness to everything that's going around in our lives. So going back to my YouTube journey, when I was too scared to start, I was also in a way blaming my background in finance as one of the reasons why I couldn't upload my first video. I was telling myself I wasn't too skilled in videography, I didn't know anything about lighting, and I just basically couldn't communicate properly. I blamed everything else as the reason why I couldn't upload my first video. So by taking back responsibility in my thoughts and in my actions, I was able to challenge these limiting beliefs and take actions to learn those skills I needed in order to start a channel. So the third would be to define your fear and break it down. Your fear of rejection, judgment, failure, or other limiting beliefs may be holding you back from taking action. Usually, it's not just one specific fear, but the sum of other fears that are feeding off of each other. When you identify this fear, you can take action in order to address this. So more often than not, this fear is just our interpretation of what happened in the past that we use to justify how things will turn out in the future. My biggest fear when starting this YouTube channel was the fear of judgment, wherein I thought that if people I knew would actually watch my videos, they would laugh at me. I guess it was because I was raised in a conservative Asian family, wherein we were kind of expected to act a certain way, and putting yourself out there in social media didn't really conform to what was expected of me. And this made me feel that starting a YouTube channel, I was kind of like opening my journey and sharing my mistakes for other people to judge. So up to today, I think only 2 people from my circle of friends know that I have a YouTube channel. And this kind of gives me that reassurance that I can put out the content I like and not have to worry about other people laughing in front of my face. The 4th would be to surround yourself with people who have the same dream or are on the same journey as you are. So there are times wherein motivation just isn't enough to break us out of our comfort zone. There is this quote that says that you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So let's say we want to start a YouTube channel. So if you really want to break out of your comfort zone, you surround yourself with people who are basically on the same path as you are. This in turn rewires our minds to see that, hey, it's maybe super normal to actually start a YouTube channel. So I love this example of Ali Abdaal, Sheen Gurub, and Elizabeth Phillips. So for those of you who don't know who Ali Abdaal is, he is like this huge productivity YouTuber with more than 5 million subs. So anyways, Sheen used to be Ali's flatmate and Elizabeth used to be his personal assistant. And I remember there was this video wherein Sheen was saying that being next to Ali made it feel super normal to have a YouTube channel just because of the amount of exposure she has to it. The 5th is to embrace imperfection. So let's face it, especially if you're new to something, your first few videos or your first few work isn't really going to be your best. So there's usually a high learning curve when starting something, which can be quite frustrating and very time consuming. But once you get over this learning curve, I guarantee you that things will get a lot smoother. So the thing that actually got me going was the saying from Ali Abdaal wherein he said, get going, get good, and get smart. So instead of focusing on fear, focus on your growth and make this a non-negotiable part of your journey. Make it a habit to continuously learn and improve the skills you need for your craft. As with anything that is done for the first time, there's always a cringe moment. There's always this really massive learning curve at first, but once you get over it and make it part of your routine, things feel a lot easier. So I admit my first few videos were really cringe to the point that until now I refuse to watch them. But I have to acknowledge that because of these first few videos, I was able to improve and actually learn more about speaking in front of the camera, editing, lighting. That helps me, video by video, improve on these things. The 6th would be to break your goal and make your first milestone within your reach. So when we think about the life-changing goal, like having a 6 or 7-figure business, or maybe having 1 million YouTube subscribers, on one end, this kind of goal can be super inspiring, but on the other end, this kind of goal actually pushes out of our comfort zone, which to a lot of us is 1, unknown, and 2, can be really scary. But because sometimes our dreams may be too big, too out of reach, or it requires us to step into a different persona, one that we don't embody just yet, this can be way out of our comfort zone. And instead of inspiring us, it does exactly the opposite and scare us into inaction. Because when we work towards reaching our goals, we take in new experiences and lessons that we learn along the way, which help us embody that persona of someone who actually fits those goals. So thinking of goals and milestones into bite-sized pieces, especially if you're still in a state of fear or self-doubt, helps in taking action and bringing your goals closer to reality. Last but not the least would be to take action. So no amount of planning, researching, or journaling will help you overcome that fear of action as action itself. So before I started YouTube, I read so many books, watched so many videos on how to speak in front of my camera or manage my time properly. And to be honest, this didn't really get me that far, but instead it took me a lot of practice, a lot of trial and error to kind of mix things and see what really works out for me. So when I started this channel, I initially promised myself that I would make 5 videos and see how it works from there. So there you have it. Here are my 7 lessons that you can follow if you want to face your fear head on. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like, feel free to check out my other videos on mindset and personal development.